Hello, I'm here in Taos, New Mexico, taking in the vastness and the mountains and the sunset. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about communication and boundaries in relationships. So oftentimes, one person in the relationship has one idea of how they want things to be between the partners, and they may or may not be able to explain that in a way so that their partner can actually understand them. And that can sometimes come from not having clarity within yourself with what parameters you want, what expectations you have, what your what behaviors are acceptable for your partner that make you feel comfortable, and what might be crossing boundaries where you don't feel respected or honored in the relationship. And then not only do you have to be clear about that within yourself, but then be able to have a productive and effective discussion with your partner to help them actually understand. So one strategy that can be done is actually speaking to your partner and then asking your partner to repeat back what they heard. And that's a way that you can actually really be sure if that person and you are on the same page, because you're hearing your words going through their filter and then coming back to you. So you can try that with your partner, and then have it, vice versa. And that can really help you get to know each other and understand each other. And the other thing about communication is actually the words that we use. They have different meanings. So, for example, the word relationship, titles, boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, beloved, and then you have all these different dynamics. Like you have a monogamous relationship, an open relationship, polyamorous relationships. And sometimes down to the actual words that we use, it gets confusing. So sometimes it can be a good idea with your partner to discuss actually like what are one's expectations if you're going to be in a relationship. Like what does that mean to each of you? Because I've noticed a trend with a lot of people today moving away from the traditional monogamous boyfriend-girlfriend labels. And there's all these other terms that come up and these different ways of relating that are now acknowledged because I think they've always been there. But it can be hard to be sure that you are feeling safe and comfortable in your relationship if your partner and you are not understanding each other in that way. And so I think like going over those words, going over like, okay, if I'm in a relationship with you, what does that mean? What are your expectations for the way that I relate to other people? What are your expectations for the way that I introduce you and talk about you to my friends? And then I think also bringing in the piece about boundaries, sometimes what can happen is we find a person that we really like. And then there's a certain type of relationship that we really want. And those might not go together. And so we have to be really clear within ourselves that like I want an open relationship, and that means this and this, and this partner appears and you're like, okay, can this person really fit into that mold? And sometimes we really want them to, but they actually don't. They're actually not in a place or not ready or don't want to be in a relationship in the way that we want. And sometimes we can then compromise our own needs by feeling like, well, I'll just kind of like take what you offer because you're such an awesome person that, if you don't really want to be in a relationship with me, that's okay because I just want you. But really what you are craving in your life, what's going to serve your highest good, is having that stability, that security of a monogamous, formal, official titled relationship. So I think that's important, that sometimes it can be really hard to have those boundaries and say to that person like, I really care about you, I really like you, but you're not able to give me what I need, and so I need to let you go so I can make space for someone else to come in that's in a place to offer me the type of relationship that I want. And I think that sometimes like if we settle and we just take what that person's offering because we like that person, it's really compromising and disrespecting ourselves. And we'll end up with both people kind of suffering because no one is really getting what they want, or one is getting what they want at the expense of the other's comfort. So those are just some things to think about in your relationships. Thank you.